just understand your experience will be your experience and your experience alone. There is no blueprint to anything organic as in life experiences. When you jumped off, the first time you jumped into the water, I can't tell you that, yeah, I know exactly how you felt. I thought I was going to die. You might have been like, oh, this next one, it's, you gotta, your fear, courage lies within the uncomfortable moment.
Welcome to the Funny in Failure podcast, a podcast that celebrates failure and shines the light on the emotional side of comedy, with yours truly, Michael Kahan.
Today's guest is insightful, reflective, and empowering. I love how Dean talks about how he loves others thriving and succeeding, seeing that inner child in them full of joy. It's rare and brilliant to hear. Dean is also very encouraging and motivating. The man wakes up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, and I've said, I'm jealous. What a mindset. Anyway, I hope you love this chat as much as I have. Okay, let's get into it. Dean Redman is a well-known and accomplished actor and voice actor with over 100 film, television, and voice acting credits to his name. He's most notable for his strong performances in major Hollywood blockbusters such as the legendary Warcraft, where he took on not one, but two major character roles alongside Travis Fimmel, Dominic Cooper, and Paula Patton. He's equally known for his performance in the Oscar-nominated War for the Planet of the Apes, for his supporting role alongside Woody Harrelson and Andy Serkis. Dean also has an extensive background in martial arts, weapons, firearms, and stunts, all of which prepared him for such roles. He also guest stars in the pilot episode of the new CBS/CTV series, Boston Blue, which is now out. So as you can imagine, we dive deep and we cover a lot, and we chat about starting the day strong, DEFCON 5, transitioning from being a commercial pilot, rejection, Boston Blue, the child inside us all, a mindset, typecasting, the Hollywood North International Film Festival, plus plenty more. Before we get into this epic chat, in case you aren't aware, the videos are now available on YouTube under Michael Kahan. That's Kahan with a K, unless you're listening to it already. I'll still be posting snippets of these chats on Instagram under Funny in Failure, so check them out if you want to stay in the loop for upcoming episodes, or you want to ask a guest a question. I'd also love it if you would share the podcast or share your takeaways from the chat. It really motivates me, helps the podcast grow, and ensures I can lock in amazing guests like this one. And just as a final reminder, the podcast comes out at 3:30 Melbourne, Australian time, with the full video of the podcast to be released the following day. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's get into it. I know that you've done some conventions. I'd love to know what they do for your soul. And I know that you've had some amazing fan interactions as well, which we'll get into as well.
Okay, so the question is, what do the conventions do to my soul?
Yeah, for your soul, meeting people that are inspired by your work and all of that jazz.
It floods me with just humbleness and love and appreciation, and I feel lucky. I when I was younger, I used to read comic books, and I wouldn't necessarily say I was a shut-in or whatever, type of term, but I got out and did things, but I really did enjoy reading comic books and watching cartoons and things like that. So I do understand the a lot of it's hard growing up. It's hard being a teen. It's hard being anybody anywhere in the world. But I definitely identify like when some of the fans, readers, or whatever you would call the people that help my career, support my career, which I'm very grateful for, would come up and tell me stories of, I loved your voice in this thing, and it reminded me of a time that it helped me out, or, your voice, I tried to emulate your voice, the story that you were in is interesting. It reminds me of myself, and it more so the 8-year-old child in me. I mean, the way I view things is that by the time I turned 8 years old, my character was pretty much made up.
Oh, wow.
And well, yeah, because I still have the same curiosities. I'm an inquisitive child, kid. I would ask questions and things, and people would, often say, well, why is it? How is this? Why does that happen? Well, that's just the way it is. Well, how do you know? I was like, well, why? But how come? I don't like, and so I just wanted to know. Couldn't take that. That's just how it is. Deal with it, or don't deal with it. I want to deal with it.
Yeah, you want to know.
Yeah. So the things that got me in trouble when I was a kid are now, I've said before, my superpower. They're the things that actually helped me created a wonderful a career for me. So
that's amazing.
To say all of that, the 8-year-old child in me is still here, but you're just seeing him many, 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 many years later. I haven't changed. I feel the world has, and I've just luckily been able to adapt and adjust to it. Yeah, when I see that in Comic-Con fans and things, I could see that if I could see the child in you, you're good. I want to talk to you.
I love that. And that's a very rare skill because especially in life, this is, I used to be an accountant and now I'm doing this, screenwriting, all of this stuff. And so the goal for me has been to kind of peel away at the, that I don't know if you've heard the expression, we're an onion, you need to peel away at it and go back to who we are at our core. And for me, it's been all about play and fun and going back to, some people call it inner child or just, that creative spark, whatever you want to call it. And that's a skill.
I call it joy, man.
Joy, exactly. And it's not something that I ever considered that you could chase. It was not even a conversation. And so if you'd already have that at 8, that is remarkable because so many actors I've spoken.
I mean, I didn't realize that till years later.
Okay.
I thought, well, when am I going to be a man? When am I going to start being in a bad mood all the time? And when, but I still have the same, every time I see an aircraft fly, I have a commercial pilot.
Yeah.
But still, anytime I see an aircraft fly, I'm like, it's just amazing to me. I'm like, how does it? I know how it works, but I don't really believe this. Got to be.
It's magic.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a fire truck. What? Fire truck? Yeah, I wanted to be a fire truck. The fire truck used to drive down the street, make all this noise, and people would move out of the way. But the fire truck was going to do something good.
Yeah.
But then I realized, well, people can't turn into
objects.
But so I gave that up.
My brother wanted to be, I convinced him to be a taxi, not a taxi driver, a taxi. So I understand the feeling. And he kept on telling everyone he was a taxi. My parents would try and correct him. I'm like, no, you're an object.
Say that again? Did you make him carry stuff for you? And,
I should have. Maybe I'm not as inquisitive as I thought I was. I should have just given him stuff and say, take this to my room and stuff like that. But still.
Uber.
Yeah, he was the OG Uber.
You're an Uber now.
Yeah. There's so many things, but from the layers of going back to who you were as a kid, as we grow up, men as well, just how the world works, at least how I grew up, I thought, I have to have a serious job. I need to be a certain way, as you said, be grumpy. Was it through the experience of acting, doing conventions, maybe following your bliss or your intuition, whatever you want to call it, that has allowed you to go back to that, that joy, that 8-year-old self? Has it just been a process?
It's been a long process. It's just, I thought that the more I've been, taught this way from, society and television and movies and things, that the more money you have, the better life you will have and the more happy you will be. And I have proof and happen to know now that it's not about that. I will say to you, Michael, that I am a wealthy man. Nice. And I'm not saying I have millions of dollars, but I have peace and tranquility and love, and I'm able to see things try to see things not from just my perspective, empathy, and those things to me are the things that truly make a person wealthy.
Sorry, you keep going.
You
No, I love that because, similar to you, I thought growing up, I thought to be a success or, you needed to have a lot of money. And the only way to do that was to doctor, lawyer, accountant. And, as we said, none of the discussion around fun and play, but wealth is such a different concept. Wealth is, also your mentality and, having enough money to live, obviously very important, but what are you able to do with your life? And I feel like that's a very important way to be because you're looking for, the joy, the positivity. Doesn't mean every day is going to be great, but you can still see the world in a different way. But if you approach it just from having a lot of money, then that's a very narrow way of looking at the world.
It's extremely narrow. It's like, I don't get out of bed for less than 10 grand. Really? Well, you probably haven't slept in 6 months then, motherfucker. Me shit.
And where did that come from? Was that a parental thing, or was it something that you needed to shift after being in the world? Where does that come from?
I can tell you from my upbringing, my parents, my family, my mother, she was, she was just, if you met her, you'd love her. She was just a positive person that had more to give. She just, I'll quickly say, say there was a party and somebody peed their pants. I don't know, whatever. She would be like, oh, it's okay. It happens. It's, rather than, oh, look, or being up, my mother always made it it happened to you, it could happen to me. She used to say, his mistake, my beefsteak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of empathy.
So when I have bad days, I get pissed off and why is this? But I realize I say now to myself, well, it's just your turn, man. It's your turn. Just get through the day. Tomorrow it's gonna be somebody else bitching out, holy shit, I'm late, and they trip down the stairs and their briefcase opens up and oh my god, part it's when I have those days and when I'm able to collect my mind to say it's just one of them days, man. It's just one of those days. And it makes me able to not blame anybody else, but just accept it and learn from it. Like, well, now when I do things that as I'm getting older, now that when I do things like failure to me, this is I'm really excited to be on your show here because failure to me is extremely important to me now in what I've learned. It's even more important than success because success to the general population for me is that's not my idea of, what's out there, cars, money, but people in your house that are going to hang around until the alcohol runs out. You know what I mean? Success to me is, not success, but failure is extremely important. And if you don't try, you're never going to move forward.
Agreed.
I feel there are people, and I've been in that myself, and I have friends that are like, they're just waiting for everything to be perfect and for the right moment to strike. Well, how are you going to wait? Just go and nobody, there's no, it's like, just get going, you'll be I believe that for me, my magic lies in my suffering. And what I mean by that is I get up every morning, not every single morning, but, unless I'm not feeling really well, but at 4:20, I have my workout pants and shirt and whatever I'm going to wear for that day. I get up, feet on the floor. I get up, put my clothes on, have some oatmeal, get to the gym. And by the time, and it doesn't get any easier, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years. It's every morning it's reset to zero.
Really? Okay, interesting.
It sucks. But when I get up in the morning, my phone wakes me up and I don't look at it. I just shut it off, get to the gym. That's my 1 or 2 hours of my day, my time, because I know when I come back home, that phone, when I look at it, which is a necessity of life now, is going to, there's another 22 hours in the day for this thing to like, really get out of control. If I start my day on my terms, I feel the rest of the day for me is much better. I also find that everyone suffers, but if you can decide what you suffer from, whether it's something that's gonna, working out or cleaning or whatever, then I think you're in a good position, because if you don't decide or choose something to suffer from, or something that's hard or, work, the world will decide it for you. And it's going to be probably a lot worse than the thing that you decided for yourself.
Exactly. You flip the switch.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was thinking about this, and it's so awesome, because what I used to, and I kind of learned the hard way, is as soon as I woke up every day, check my phone. First of all, there could be bad news as an actor.
Yeah, bad news.
Yeah, and as an actor, you might get, and we'll talk about this as well, you might get all these rejection, which is super common. Everyone's like that. But I might get maybe a podcast guest is, I don't know, pulled out, it's not happening. Writing, maybe someone doesn't like my script, all of that stuff. And then, or if I didn't receive any news, I'm like, why hasn't anything come through? So I had to change. You do it at a much higher level. I mean, I've been thinking about this for a while. I meditate first thing in the morning. It's similar to you with Jim. That's what I do, and it sets me up way better than if I let all of that external stuff come to me. So if you're crazy in the most positive way, 4:20 every day to go to gym, and you said it doesn't get easier, but you still do it.
Yeah.
That I feel like that's the most important skill of being an actor, because of that resilience. Because as I said, every actor gets rejected 100 times for every one role, whatever the ratio is. But you've already set out your day with, I'm going to do a huge.
That I can control.
Yeah.
A lot of the rest of the stuff. For me, Michael, I believe as an actor, I am an actor. I work at film and television voice for a living. I do this. This is it's not a hobby or a tried, dabbling in. This is my profession, and I'm very happy and feel very grateful for it. Every day that I get the opportunities. But I found that I, as an actor, I am a master of rejection. So much to the point that I don't even get told that I didn't get the job. Many times I'm sitting on the couch here watching the show, and like, how the fuck do I know every word that's coming out of this guy's mouth and I've never seen it? Oh, because that's the thing that guy. Yeah, whatever. So they don't even tell you that we liked your read, great read, but we just decided to go to they don't even tell you. So I have only a certain amount of bandwidth in my brain. For example, the other day, I read 9 pages of dialogue. I got to get that in.
That's
the
hard.
Next day. Yeah, I'm quite lately. I've been reading quite a bit, and it's I have to manage my mind in a way that this show that I read for, when is the start date? There's things called outside dates, the start of the show and the end of the show. It doesn't say what within those dates, what date your character works, but this is the project is within these parameters. So I have to keep a mental thing of like, okay, well, I read for this February, I read for this last week. It next week is February 20th. It plays February 24th. So if I haven't heard anything about it by the usually the 20th, then I probably didn't get it. But they don't tell you, hey, that's all that shit that you learned. Okay, you can take it out of your mind. I have to download, and it's a lot of it's hard work to get a lot of that dialogue down and then make it real and react to it. And, is definitely, that's not the dark side, but that's part of the hard work of being an actor. Being an actor has to, you have to, in my opinion, you've got to just keep going. The only thing I can control is what is not my performance. I like to look at myself as a reactor, not an actor. People act stupid. People act funny. You're acting like an idiot. I react to as if the situation was real.
Yeah.
But I feel that I lost my train of thought here, like you did. So I'll remember.
No, it's complete. It happens all the time. We'll go in different directions, but just this springs to mind, but you can come back to it.
It takes a lot of mental bandwidth to learn all this dialogue and make it real. But so being an actor, you're a master of rejection. You don't even get told that you didn't do it. You have to be okay with that. The only thing I'm in control of is what I put on that tape and send in, and or if I read in the room, what I do in that moment. Anything else doesn't even make sense for me to even consider, because I'm not in control of it.
Sorry for interjecting. Just it excites me. That's so rare, because also I used to make jokes. I love feedback. So, whether it's a script or in life, or back in the day before my wife, maybe I'll go, yeah, I'll take it. Basketball, I'm always the guy, should I have made that pass, or should I, have gone for the layup? That's the type of guy I am. There's always jokes that when I was dating before my wife, where, the girl might be like, it's not going to go ahead. And I'm like, that's fine. So what could I have done better for the next one? Like, there was always this, I love feedback. And so I always,
by the way, I'm just wondering, what
could I have done better? Was it that little, anyway. And I personally love feedback. It's very hard to offend me, but I always want to grow and improve in all that I want, not all the time, but most of the time. And as an actor, you said 8 or 9 pages of dialogue. That is hard. You put in so much time and effort. And also, you're not just doing that once, you're doing that all the time. You put in, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you do it, you might have to make sacrifices where you can't see friends or family or whatever to learn that, because that's really hard. You get in there, and then they say, you don't hear anything. That's, to me,
nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So was that a hard thing to deal with when you were first starting out, or did you just go, this is the business?
Yes, very hard. But with that in mind, I think it's very necessary to go through that, because I find that nowadays there's, with this social media and things, there's like, hack for this, hack for that, get paid for not doing a goddamn thing. It's no, it's you do the work. It's like I to any actor who interested in listening is like, make, like they say with actors, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Well, how can you throw something away that you don't have? What works for me, Michael, may work for you, but 3 days later, what's working still for me doesn't work for Michael anymore. But how will Michael know that unless he's gone through it, walked through it, been through that experience? And at times it's very obtuse, and sometimes it's very infinitesimal.
Yeah.
It's a moving, like, there's no hack to win the audition. Like, what the fuck? What? It's just you've got to fail. You've got to fail. You've got to feel what, feel that, get embarrassed, yell your head off, make choices, be bold. Like, great. You said every word on the page exact perfectly, but you're a piece of wood. Like, it's acting is to me is reacting. It's not. It looks easy. It looks like, I'm just doing what, he's just a guy. But there's so much more. There's so much more to it. And my curiosity is what that 8-year-old kid in me is what keeps me intrigued with it, because how am I going to do this? I don't know. Just do it. Just do it. I don't know anything else now. I mean, I can still fly, but I enjoy the creative part. Being able, I enjoy that I still have that kid with me. I didn't leave him behind.
You're in the 0.001% of people. Everyone leaves the kid behind. And it's so inspiring to know that you can be, a fully grown adult and still, because that's what it's all about, life. We can make life so serious and so just got to earn money, but just acknowledging that we're all actually kids inside is so important. But also another very interesting thing you said is you talked about taking risks and actually doing it. And you said a lot of people, and as everyone knows, we don't necessarily always take risks. As an actor, as you said, you could just get up, there's a lot of people in the room, or, maybe you're intimidated, all these different things. You can just say the lines and that's okay. You're not going to get the role. But to yell, to, portray yourself in a certain way, to cry, whatever it is, that can be really scary and very vulnerable. When I first tried stand-up comedy, I needed to show my emotions, but I was too scared. I just wanted to get the words out. But that's not funny. You're never going to excel in that way. And I learned a very crushing lesson that in order to do this, you need to, take risks and show vulnerability. But that can be very scary. It sounds like you've had a relationship with this. When did you kind of realize that you have to, if you're going to do it properly, not just say the line so you don't get embarrassed?
I can't truthfully say that every time I read, I took the best risks. Sometimes there are roles that are like, this doesn't really jive with you, but here's an opportunity for me to learn,
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So your question is
around the vulnerability side of actually expressing.
Yeah, well,
yourself.
For years, there's a thing called typecasting. And for years, I was on the sweet spot of typecast because I was playing, military SWAT leader, FBI agent. Most times I had a gun and a badge.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was really. But I got to find that I was always often the assistant agent or the next guy.
Yeah.
Once I started playing bigger roles in that capacity as military, police, law enforcement and things like that, I found that I have a real good opportunity to really make this boring. Like, these guys are boring. He's like, do this, do that. Like, I found that when you have somebody who is in a power position, it's really interesting to see them fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's everything goes his way, and all of a sudden his wife is like, "What's this? Huh?" I just find the vulnerability in the bigger the character, the more interesting the downfall and stuff. And not to say I like to see people fall, but I just like to see what makes people tick. I'm a kid. I'm this 8-year-old kid. A lot of often people think, when I first saw you, I thought you were going to kick my ass. I'm like, what? Why the hell would you think? But you're really cool. I'm like, yeah, I am. I exercise, I work out, I play a lot of authoritative roles, but I'm not this one-dimensional individual like as anybody is. So when it comes to roles like that, I really like to find out, what is his soft spot? What are his vulnerabilities? Playing to those, because people can relate.
It's more interesting to watch and see, and also you to grow as a performer as well. A lot of actors have spoken about typecasting and how it has been a massive role, because that's just, sometimes casting people, whoever it is, they see you in the one light and it can be very hard to change it. How have you been able to navigate that, if it has been a thing that you've had to deal with?
Again, when it comes to the typecasting, I was loving the roles that I was playing, a lot of military stuff, but now I've, proved my chops, or been lucky that my bandwidth of character types is opened wide. Father, husband, I've, not just, attack.
Yeah.
You're under arrest. And, there's many other, I've played many different things. The last role I did was, we'll talk about it. I don't feel typecast, no. But I truly believe it's because of just going against I feel there's, in an actor's life, or in my life and people that I've known who are actors, you can coast that, one-dimensional role thing, but sooner or later you're going to have to, in order to grow, you've got to let something go. And usually that's something that's your comfort zone.
Exactly.
And it's not easy to do. It's hard. And it's, I have been through that, and I ended up, I've got 10 heads now instead of one, so to speak.
That's yeah, because I've had so many actors, no judgment whatsoever, where maybe the agents
you sound a little judgy.
where the agents they're like, no, this is your lane, you do this, and they know they're going to get a lot of roles in that area, but then they don't necessarily. Yeah, yes, the roles will always be different, but they don't necessarily get to show other sides of the acting chops.
And some actors don't have that in them, and that's fine. But I just have, I just know that I relate to lots of people. I'm my mother, I'm my father. I'm many. There's many sides to me in one, and literally.
I think that's really awesome as well. And also, this is your life. You want to explore different avenues as well. There's a great story. People can listen to it. Matthew McConaughey, he says it so brilliantly. He wanted to get out of the comedy space because, he's doing all the rom-coms at an earlier stage. And I think he was offered a few $1 million for a role. And he said, no, I'm not doing comedies anymore. And then they came back and offered him even more millions. He said, I'm not doing comedies anymore. Then I think they offered him $10 or $11 million. And he's like, oh, this script's a lot funnier than I thought it was. The money's talking. And he said no. He said, no, this might be the end of my career. I can do more than just comedy. And then he got offered, I think it was maybe Dallas Buyers Club and like 3 other films of that level. And it's because he said to himself, where he talks about how he like manifested it at some level, and he put it out to Hollywood. I want to do more, and it might be the end of my career, but I don't want to just be put in one lane. And yes, I know it's Matthew McConaughey, and he's at the highest of levels, but I really liked that, that analogy where he's like, I've got my life to live. I don't want to just do the one thing. And if it ends, it ends. I'll be a lawyer, and you can also be a commercial pilot, but this is the thing that you love. So this is the thing that you're exploring. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, I believe I saw that on Graham Norton. He's probably told.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like, I've been doing quite a bit of interviews lately, and it's like, well, I often get asked similar questions, but the answer is still the same. Like, well, maybe change it up. Well, no, then you need your bullshitting, man.
It's your life. Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I've said this many times, but because you talk to a different person. So it is interesting to be. So you probably heard the same story on another show, but I heard it on about from McConaughey on Graham Norton.
Yeah, and, interesting.
Turning down. When I first started acting, I was, anything. Well,
you were the lead when you first started out, which is crazy.
What's that?
You were the lead in one of the shows, which when you first started out, that you're like the only person I've ever heard of. That would give you like a false sense of security in a sense.
Like, what? Yeah, it was pretty interesting. That was Black Lagoon. Yeah, Black Lagoon, and I played. Do you know? Are you familiar with Black Lagoon?
I'm not. I just know that you were the lead. Just a little bit of reading on it.
Anime, yeah. So it was. It was a very good learning experience. I caught up really fast, but completely, judging myself and not knowing, what do they talk? What does that mean? It was like to go back into that in my mind. It would still be chaos. But what I've learned now is like when I'm doing a self-tape or, figuring out a scene and stuff, and, I'll do one take and then I'll look at it, because often the noise that I've felt around me, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look, I don't remember it like that. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So we can be our own worst critic.
Yeah, I've given myself the right to let my brain attack me, but say, okay, well, yeah, go ahead. Just right now I'm busy, so we'll you know, we can fuck around with me later, but right now I got some stuff to do. So because I used to tell myself, well, no, why am I thinking this? This is I should be no. This is a organic thing. This is all things moving at the same time. How do you deal with that? You know.
We can always be our worst critic. And I know, like, listening to podcasts, oh my God, why did I say that? Then you really re-listen to it and you're like, oh, it wasn't this bad. And then, or, you know, it's just,
exactly.
or you see it in a different light because you're so attached. Then when you can see from an outside perspective, like, it was actually pretty good. Or, oh, I didn't notice I did that. That's just the nature of it. But going back to Black Lagoon, because this is very rare in the acting journey, you're the lead. You know, this is now, you know, but at the time you wouldn't. It's a non-linear industry. Some years are bigger than others, inverted commas bigger. Some years you're going to get more work than others. And it doesn't mean you're a bad actor. Doesn't mean, you know, it's just the nature of the business. But I'm sure when you were first starting out, you're the lead. You probably think, I'm going to be the lead of everything else. Mentally, was that a, you know, hard shift when you're not necessarily the lead in every role moving forward?
Well, I've never been asked that question before, Michael, and I haven't even been there in my mind since. But yeah, I was thinking this is good. The momentum is going. I did book another lead after that, but then booking once and then a second time. That my first experience compared to the second experience is like you got through that. And I was able to in the second show I was able to like, okay, you know, failure. Well, remember you did that before. Don't do that. Do this now.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah, it was again, I felt very grateful for it, but the second time was like, okay, you like, I wasn't like, oh, okay, this is going to be like this all the time. It's like, okay, you didn't get caught fucking up. You know, they were very good for you with me. They liked my voice, but they were able to capture what I was saying and not what the hell was going on in my head. Because if they were like, "Whoa, you need to get out of here, man," you know, like it's an odd thing. Like, you know, you just sound so cool. You sound so calm. I'm like, really? Okay, all the time.
Everyone's like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. But to hear, you know, I've spoken to other voice actors, and it's you know, be grateful for what you get and what you learn. And you know, there is no, well, I've been doing this 22 years, so now I'm a level, you know, a red seal. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it goes.
But when you're first starting out, I know you said you haven't thought about it in a while. Like, naturally, if I start out as a manager and as an accountant, and then maybe the business goes under, and then another company's not going to hire me as a manager if it's my first year necessarily. Although that's a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. Like, the nature of the business is so volatile, and you might get a role where, you know, maybe it's one line, and then you've got another role where there's 100 lines. And was that, you know, the mental shift of knowing that it's not always an upwards, you know, trajectory? Does that?
Yeah. In the beginning, I was looking for quantity, experience, you know, resume building. Oh, I did a lot of stuff. Some of these things were like, well, please don't watch it, but you know,
everyone's got a lot of those. Yeah.
But now my resume, like I was doing an interview the other day, and the gentleman was saying, with Dean Redman acted with over 100 credits.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Like, yeah, it is. It is crazy. Now I'm looking for quality, and you know, I would never have turned a role down before, other than like junkie number 2 or, you know, some. That's the only thing I wouldn't do. All that, you know, stereotypical foolishness. Yeah. But now with the roles that I go for, I mean, my piece of the pie was big. I did like actor role. I could, you know, one day I remember one time I booked 3 acting gigs in one day.
Whoa!
Got the call.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is great. This is really cool. but there was a part of me that's saying, okay, so you're going to stay here in one-liners or two, because actor is 1 to 6 lines.
Yep.
The next level is 6 to 20, and then lead, supporting. So I just said, I'm just going to just bulk up, the resume.
Yeah.
And then I had to make a shift where I was no longer reading for acting roles, but there were casting directors, actor, 6 lines or less. Casting directors that I had proven myself to, and this guy's reliable. They would call me in, okay, now everybody, now I'm moving up to supporting, no longer, please don't call me with your actor line foolishness. I know, thank you for supplying me with all of these opportunities, but now, don't bother me with that.
Yeah.
So the process where you have to, you get, but we'd like to see Dean, we'd like to see this guy. And I'm like, oh, and you have to decline. And it's like, did I just screw myself here? Because, it's that, again, giving up something to get, yeah. And it's hard, as an actor, it's funny to me now. Before, it used to piss me off, but you're an actor. Oh yeah, I'm an actor too. I used to do it when I was in high school, and maybe I should pick it up again. It's like me saying, oh, you're a brain surgeon. Oh well, I used to hang out with some brain surgeons. I did a couple of lobotomies over the summer, but you know what? I think I'm going to go back. I got some time. It's like so it's like, it's like, or are you an actor? You're an actor? Yeah. Are you famous?
Oh yeah, that would be.
So what I do now, people say, oh, you're an actor. What have you been in? I'm like, what have you seen?
Google me.
I say, go to IMDb, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's like, and all of that stuff is like, it's a very, you get a lot of stuff said to you that,
because people don't understand, and it's like frustrating because it's like a different language. They don't understand.
Like actor, professional actor, mega superstar. There are different things, but you're an actor, so you must be famous. It's like there's no if you're an actor, you're not an actor unless you're famous thing kind of thing. Yeah, and that's not why I'm in it. I'm not in it to be famous. I'm not in it. I'm in it because, again, that 8-year-old kid thrives in that free environment.
And I think this is really crucial, and I don't think you realize how important this is. You said as you're going to, the next level, for example, where you're declining,
it's hard, man. It's taking a shower. What the fuck am I doing? Oh my God. Yeah.
But we were talking about risk and like going for it and what brings you joy. So many people would not want to, potentially make that call. They might, because there's fear. When am I going to work here? When am I going to do all of these things? You obviously knew within you, you're here for the long haul, not just for the short haul. That's a very mature response. But I know you like talking about in the show, like, how can have I made the right decision? But
my brain's attacking me. That's when my brain attacks me sometimes. As soon as I close my eyes,
But isn't that pretty exciting? I know it's not always going to be upwards and upwards, but isn't that pretty exciting that you took a gamble on yourself? You know your worth, you know what you're about, and you decided to say, you know what? I think I can do this. I think, I'm at this stage. Like, not many people would take that risk or that gamble, but that's not who you are. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, I wish I'd done it. I for example, I was with a certain agent, and I've been in Vancouver for years, but I'd been with one agent for a long time, and I was looking to inquire about other representation, and every person that I called, they said, they say, submit your resume and blah blah blah. I was like, why are you doing that? So I just called and I said, my name is Dean Red. Oh, we know who you are. I was like, really? Like, you don't, I mean, I'm not jumping from, you don't jump from agents. Who's your agent? Why? Like, what does it matter? Like, There's no the connection between an agent, for me, an agent, actor, and your representation is a very cohesive thing. You could have the best agent if you suck, or if you don't, you know what I mean. It's that they're not going to carry.
You need to be in harmony and unity. You need to be on the same page. You need it. Yeah.
Gotta be like, it's gotta be not if you suck. Yeah, if you suck, but if you phone it in and you just do the word, like it'll every audition you do, like I'm a big believer of delayed reactions. I feel today's society is like, stimulus response, reward, stimulus response, reward.
Definitely.
It's like, no, I mean, sure, but what, like I when I get up 4:20 in the morning, it's hard sometimes, Michael. I'm telling you, I'm like, I that's when my brain starts saying, just it's raining outside, just stay in there. But I've realized that's my brain talking. If my brain tells me what to do, I ain't gonna do nothing. If I tell my brain what to do, my brain will help me,
Yeah.
But there's a fight for a while. So as soon as that phone goes up, I'm up. I already ushered myself to clothes, the nutrients and stuff. So sometimes I got to the gym in the morning. I'll be honest with you. I drove to the gym. It's raining. It's miserable outside. And I sat in the car and I'm like. I'm not upset. I'm just tired. I'm not even crying for any one specific reason. Just get it out.
That's a mature response.
Oh, I mean, when you pack that stuff down, you know what comes out? It comes out at your sister's wedding.
Yeah.
Or
So back to what you were saying with the mental hurdles. When you're like going to gym, you don't want to do it. What's the your brain saying, why are you doing this, all of that? Are you able to just be like, you obviously feel and say, I'm the boss, I'm going to gym, or I made this decision, I'm going to do it? Is that like the relationship you have? You hear it, you feel it, and you're like, no, I'm the king. How did you develop that? That's crazy to me in a good way.
Well, I don't want to take the credit for that. I will. There's this man by the name of David Goggins. Okay. I was looking for motivation one day and I looked up military training and then came across him. And, basically, he's, as you know, he's not, I would call him a motivational speaker because he's not really that. He's just like, you want to lose some weight? Get your ass in the gym. Like he's just straight. There's no gray area. It's like just
right between the eyes.
Yeah, and it's some people may not take because he's cusses and says all that kind of stuff. But I really resonated with that. And so one thing he says is it's easy for us to make promises to people, but how can we keep fucking our own selves over? I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go to the gym, making these romantic, I'm going to lose some weight. And then I'm going to just, bike 5 kilometers a day and you don't do it. What about the shit you wrote down? So I hold myself accountable to what I promised myself the night before. So when I get up in the morning and I'm like, sometimes like, because when you're like, what, you didn't do what you said to do. It's like, fuck you again. It's like, no, fuck me, no, fuck you. No, fuck, like, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Well, we lie to ourselves all the time. And if we lie to our friends, it's not acceptable. Yeah. And we just, so I love someone like David.
Yeah. So I just find, those little, and not building a huge laundry list of tasks to do, like, one thing, just get up in the morning, go to the gym. That's it. I remember one time I was, there was a bunch of dishes in the sink and I was like, my brain talking here. Oh God, this is going to take 15 minutes to watch these fucking, so, you know what? Let's just see. Took 1.5 minutes. And I was like, wow, this is, and again, a learning moment is like, it's bigger in your head than it is in like, and I did it again. It's like, oh God, you know what? Just do. wow, it's always harder in we make it harder in our heads. At least
100%.
I do.
I think we're all guilty of that, and this is actually a good segue because you talked about that creative spark, joy, resilience, getting things done. I want to go back to when you were a commercial pilot because I think this is tying in everything you said, and it's a wonderful story as well. You think your life is going to be one way. You're a commercial pilot, getting your hours. That is your path at the time. I think
Yeah, I
9/11
was in
happens.
love with it. I was so in love with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So even more to the point, I think 9/11 happens. It throws your world upside down. We don't need to talk about 9/11. We'll just talk about you. Your life changes like that. How do
Yeah.
you mentally deal? This is the thing that you love, and it's basically being taken away from you. It's going to be a lot harder. What is going on through your mind? Because that is a big shift when you think you're on one path, and then life happens and pulls you away
Sure.
from another.
You deny it. You try to figure stuff out. You get depressed. You go into depression. I all that stuff. Like why is this happening now? I wasn't able to say, well, okay, well, what did you look like? I'm a hindsight kind of guy. I lately I've been able to like, okay, there's a lesson here, but for the majority of my life, it's like, oh, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that shit. Um, going through what I went through was it was a silent riot, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was confused. I was, but we keep these things in. We don't tell people how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. Good.
Yeah.
How you doing? Actually, you know what? No one wants to. I'm just saying hi. Like we don't do that in common, common interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I felt I still continued, but it was I just gained a lot of hours. Like the only people that, in my opinion, of the people that I knew, the pilots that I knew, were people whose grandfather or mother or dad or uncle were already in their grandfathered in, so to speak. But it one door closes, another door opens. It's easy to say after that's you've in hindsight, but when it's happening, like it's tough. There's no there's really no way to I feel your true character really lies within the hard times. Everybody's fine when everything is great. Hey, yeah. But how you doing? What the fuck are you looking at? Why you smile? Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I think
I these things just come out of me, guys.
no. First of all, no need to apologize whatsoever. It's so important because not many people, especially at a young age, know what they want, and you knew what you wanted. And then,
I knew, but it wasn't realistic. I wanted to be a fire truck. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, I believe you. Yeah.
I liked the urgency,
represented the helping people.
Yeah. But I can't say that I knew what brought me joy.
Yep.
And it was always my toes in the grass, swinging, always something that's free and an individual, not. I remember when I was younger, we had we took music class, and there was the flute and the trombone and the trumpets and stuff.
Yep.
But there was a drum set, and I was like, that's really cool. And but it was one, and I feel that my creativity is summoned by a oneness. You know what I mean? Like, so there's, when you see dancers, a bunch of dancers, I'm not saying, I wouldn't feel, it doesn't speak to me as, a beautiful 20.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's not just your calling.
It's like the responsibility on me is much better if I know when I failed, and I know how to do it, and then nobody else has to suffer from my my downfall or
Yeah.
my winnings. So, but yeah, always individual things, the drums, things like that. But yeah, yeah, it was. I've always I've always been huge imagination, very observant, very curious. Why, how come, how do you know, why? Just will you just stop? Like I could, and now I'm getting to really explore that in this.
That's
this
so that's so cool, and I admire you as well because, as I've said, and I think such an interesting story. You think you're on the one path, life happens, your life's thrown upside down. I'm sure I'm adding in words. You can correct me if I'm wrong. There's panic, fear. What am I going to do? I know you mentioned, sadness, depression, all of those normal human reactions. What allows you to then, I think you did fitness modeling as well, but that's a huge shift from a commercial pilot to acting. For example, commercial pilot, say you got in, that's a very steady job, once you're in the business. And then you go to the arts where it's, as we said, one day you might get a role, then you might not get one for ages. What allowed you to mentally shift to go from there all the way to acting? Because that's a big jump, or at least in my mind.
Yeah. Well, I just TV was always on for me as a kid. I used to see. I used to when I was I was a weird kid. When I was younger, I used to turn the turn the volume off on shows and try to figure out what did she say and what did he just say, I
Oh,
try to,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
just so I just by the mannerisms and stuff. And I wasn't doing it as, oh no, I'm going to do this exercise because this is going to help me be. I was just like just messing around, like
Yeah.
hey, stand in front of the TV and just watching, and you're too close to the. Sorry, my mom would tell me I'm always too close to the TV. But so your question was how
Oh yeah,
how
the
did
the
I?
shift, also the mental shift of going from a pilot to an actor. That's a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
leap
I
of
didn't
faith.
know. I didn't know that I was. I mean, there's many things in between that. Just I didn't. It wasn't. I can't sit here and say, well, then I decided one day I'm going to be an actor, and I
Yeah.
headed out to Hollywood. I've read books. Everybody says one day. A lot of the books. One day. So then I decided I want to be an actor. They either head to New York or L.A. But yeah, I just trying to find where I felt comfortable. There was I do feel that I'm very aware of my surroundings and my environment, and when it doesn't feel right, it doesn't. I can just the arts for me has always been a place of comfort and
Ah, so
discovery.
were
Yeah.
you doing that at school, or was it something that you were aware of and you?
It was just aware. My mother used to play music all the time. She used to dance. She used to,
Nice.
she always had an environment. She always, and she always used to skip together, like how about this? Like just not saying today you're going to learn this today. Like it was just natural things just by and loving her and admiring her. Like I just, she always encouraged me to do things.
Ah,
So
awesome. That's yeah.
yeah, I mean, I miss her so much. My mother, I love her dearly. But she, when she was living, the one thing that I just feared in like, take my car, take my house, I don't give, just take it all. Just
Yeah.
don't touch my mom. And when she died, it was very hard on me.
I'm sure.
And I took it hard.
Yeah.
And uh, but then I just realized, she she taught me so much. I thought she died. She's very much alive. She's a big part of who I am and
Awesome.
yeah. So she lives through me. I just I just feel that if it weren't, she was giving me so many messages, so many experiences that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I was getting flooded with like attention and knowledge and experience and conversation and things. So yeah, I'm a very lucky kid. I was very lucky.
That's so awesome to hear in the sense of, we were even talking about it off air a little bit as well. But, the positivity, the joy, the encouragement, the nurturing. And then this might sound a bit morbid, so I might need to rephrase it. But, death's obviously horrible, but there's a gift in death as well when you can reflect and see and allow for things to come that you may have not acknowledged before or realized before, and then realize that aspect has been in you and always will be. So you're looking at the gift in it as well, which is great.
Often I will say things and just come out of my mouth. I'm like, I sound just like my mom.
Yeah.
And I never say those things. I don't remember saying them while she was with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how the mind, it chooses, it takes everything in, I believe, and it fills it out when it's needed.
Exactly. I just want to type a few points before we do a rapid fire segment because we've discussed so much. But I think this is also going back to, kind of what I would view as a growth mindset and trying new things. I'd love to know about DEFCON 5 because I feel like that's been very crucial for your acting, but also personal life as well. Can you tell me how you discovered it and what you've learned from it?
DEFCON 5, DEFCON 5.
Oh, DEFCON. Okay. Yeah.
DEFCON 5 is when the world is at full mayhem. It's a term. So in Vancouver, around in the 90s, there was, a lot of films, series and things were filmed here. And there was military, police and, things like that. And, if someone doesn't know how to handle a firearm, it looks goofy and to pretty much the people who know how to handle them.
Yeah.
So this man by the name of Ron Blecker and Rob Fournier. Ron Blecker was a ex-U.S. military, and Rob Fournier, an ex-U.S. Canadian military. They created DEFCON 5, which was a special skills agency that would have actors, performers who would, take on the role of, SWAT team, military, firemen, any type of military organization. And I joined them, and I joined them, and in one part of it was, you get a criminal background check, and it was for real. And then we had to go. We did a firing day where we had to learn. We were taught by a friend of mine, Jeff, a friend of mine, Jeff, who's ex VPD, Vancouver Police Department. He was the SWAT team leader, and they taught us how to go into a room, clear a room, and properly, not
yeah.
how. And we were
hold the gun and scratch your head. Oh yeah.
Put the finger on the trigger, like treat it, and we had real weapons. We were a tight unit. We always were looking out for each other. If someone's lace was sticking out, we just tuck. We all checked. Like it was a really good organization to be part of, and it was one of the first other than Cub Scouts was one of the first meaningful teams that I became a part of, and it taught me a lot. Ron Blecker, the main dude, he was military. He did not F around. They were very hard on us, and I learned a lot of discipline to them. So DEFCON 5, a lot of us have gone on to stunt careers, acting careers, directing careers, producing. But it's a brotherhood that I have a lot of love for.
That's so epic, and I know you've done stunts as well. But how did you discover this? Was it you're friends with someone and they recommended? Because I feel like this has been very crucial for your career as well. But also learning mental skills, bringing out joy, camaraderie, all of that stuff as well.
I was working on a show called Dark Angel, and the DEFCON had just started maybe a year or two, and one of the Rob Fournier, who was one of the owners, there's two guys, he asked me, he said, he asked me if I'd like to, because I was playing a military role on Dark Angel.
Okay.
And, we were running and doing all kind of stuff. And he asked me, he said, I like what you do. Would you consider joining DEF CON? And basically that's how I joined. And it was very, very exciting. We all became very close. We learned a lot of things together. It was like a nice brotherhood that, we spent a lot of time together. Sometimes you spend 14, 15 hours together, and
Whoa.
learning how to just learning unity, learning teamwork, learning it's not just about me, things like that. So it was a good. It really DEF CON 5 definitely had helped me get to where I am in my career now, as definitely for as far as discipline. Because they don't just give an actor a gun nowadays. You have to, a lot of actors have, most actors have that work a lot with weapons have a thing it used to be called a PAL, but I think it used to call your FAC, firearms certificate.
Yeah.
But you have, it's a good thing to have that, to be safe, because as you know, things can go wrong.
Yep. So I've heard some unfortunate stories, and we've seen some as well. But how awesome, not only to do that, but as you said, these are life skills. Like that'd be great for a kid, just to learn unity, harmony, all of those skills. I'm glad that you got that, and I'm glad that you've been able to apply it in your career as well. I want to touch one point before we do a rapid fire segment, and I think this is really cool. Even though there's probably like 500 points, but we'll see how we go. Film festival. I know that you created or part of it. Can you tell me a bit about why you decided to do that?
Well, so there's a couple of things. So the Hollywood North International Film Festival was something that I was asked to come in on, and it was through a director that I had worked with, asked to be the front man for the festival. And because I used to, I had also been the host and the MC for Anime Revolution, which is an anime convention in Vancouver, kind of very similar to Comic-Con. And so I had a reputation, for doing such things, public speaking, things like that. So I was asked to do the Hollywood North International Film Festival, and there was a lot of things that were not. I was like, well, we need to take care of this. So it was a lot of work, but we were 250 films from 52 countries around the world. We had, best actor, best, I think best documentary, best writing, best independent student film, things like that. And then on the very last year, which was 2025, January, we had it at we have a planetarium, so we held it at the H.R. Macmillan Space Science Center, which is basically Vancouver's planetarium, and the whole ceiling was screened. So it was an incredible night.
Amazing.
We had a lot of sponsors, so I was able to pull a lot of people in by making good connections over the years, and it did really well. But now we have my partner and I, my business partner and I. We're. Are you familiar with the Edinburgh Film Festival?
Yes, I've had so many guests there. So at least 30 off the top of my head. Yeah.
Well, I've never been, and I'd love to go. Well, I will be going sometime soon. And we were thinking of for me, film is not just about the actors. It's about the fashion, the wardrobe, the costumes. It's about the music. It's about the dialogue. It's about the photography. Stylization and everything. So we're wanting to this year, separate from the Hollywood North, our own thing, have five creative areas: fashion, photography, film, comedy, and music.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's a big endeavor. It's we're not going to do it until we've gotten it right,
Mm.
rather than half-assed, or you know what I mean. But I've been able to get some really good and influential people involved. So that is in the works, and maybe we could talk about that in the future. But,
That sounds great. And what does that have to do with the Edinburgh Fringe? Is that, you'd be getting people in?
I'm the template. The
Okay.
using it as
Yeah. That's awesome. How rewarding has it been to be a part of it? Because not only can you, I know that you've got judges involved, you're organizing this, you're seeing, you can potentially start careers, but also you can grow as a performer. Even when you see something inverted commas, and I'm not saying it is amateur or not as professional as you used to, that's where the real growth, where you can see something in yourself, what you can do. So how rewarding has the whole experience been for you?
heart filling, life changing, sunset, blinding. It's I like I said to you before, I believe I was asked, so what is it like to be a successful actor? And I kind of felt, I'm like, I don't think of myself, but I've had some success. And then the interviewer said, okay, what is your idea of success as an actor? And my response was, my idea of success as an actor is being able to create opportunities for people within my industry.
Yeah, nice.
So because a lot of the volunteers were young film students, and I could see myself in them. I could see the nerves. I could see, but the fact that you come up to me and say, "Hey, Dean, I hear you're doing this thing. My name is so and so. I'd like to volunteer." Like, that takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot of, and to do that, I remember when I was, nervous, like almost my very first audition acting. I don't remember. All I remember is hitting the door, just like drenched, and like,
Yeah.
take it easy, man. What's going on? It's but so to create opportunities for others within my industry. I don't believe I've said this to you before, but for me as an actor, it gives me a lot of joy, because I started in background, and then special skills, and then actor one-liners, and then principal, and supporting, and on and so on. I've produced, I've directed. I'm not necessarily become manager now. When I was it doesn't work like that. But I know that film is for me, because if I wasn't doing this, maybe I'd be doing hair, maybe I'd be I don't know, but it would definitely be something in film. And when I as an actor get hired, I know I've been in all three different aspects of it: directing, watching actors, do auditions, watching them make mistakes that actors will think, "Oh my God, I fucked up." No, that's good. That was a choice. Like, I've been on both sides of watching younger actors audition for me has made me a better actor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I found out what's really important. So what, you messed up. I don't worry. I want to hear the story. I want to hear your take on it. So being as an actor, getting hired, I really is a big victory for me every time, because I know, because I'm hired, more times than not, I've facilitated a stunt performer, a job, stand-in, photo double. All the crew's already there, but those specific, when you see me, you see five. There's five, and I'm not. I gave you guys work, or it's just I'm like, I know. I've been in all these aspects, so I respect. I respect nerves. I respect vulnerability. I respect. I also respect doing in spite of your fear. I really am big. You can't teach that.
No.
You just gotta do it. Yeah. And when I see someone doing that, I'm like, yeah. I mentor some younger actors. I don't know what the word is. So this is my mentee. I don't know. It's just a weird, like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's my friend. But yeah, I know what it's like. It's scary, man. It's like, there's no acting school. Like, what does acting school get? I mean, you're not guaranteed. Oh, well, you're gonna start soap operas, and then you're gonna move into action, and then
doesn't work like that. No,
work like that. But the film festival, to be able to create opportunities for other people within my industry is the biggest reward for me, because there are people I know that I keep in touch with them, and I just there's room for everybody. There's if this is what speaks to the 8-year-old kid in you, then I'm here to help you, because I'm there too.
That is brilliant. What a unique take. And also you mentioned the success side of, helping others as well. That I love that as well. The shared abundance, shared success. Great take. Before we do a rapid fire segment, I think that this is also a good segue. I know you're on Boston Blue as well, and I know that you love Donnie Wahlberg. And
I do. When I grow up, I want to be just like him.
In what regard? Just the whole works, his personality.
He's larger than life. He didn't disappoint me.
That's rare.
He's just when I met it. So are we talking about this now?
Yeah.
When I met Donnie Wahlberg, I was cast in Boston Blue, new series on it's a spinoff of Blue Bloods. Sorry, with Tom Selleck and so on. And so I'm sitting in we have a few scenes, and we're sitting waiting in the green area, and I said, we looked, I was introduced to him, and I said, Donnie, I just really thank you very much. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And you know what he says to me? He says, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't do anything? Executive producer of Blue Bloods, Boston Blue. You didn't do anything? Oh, okay, yeah. And I said, no. He goes, I didn't do anything. Very, very magnanimous. Mm-hmm. Then I proceed to tell him, because I think I love his acting. I think his acting is very, very natural. And I told him this, and he starts blushing. And he wasn't like, he had a script. And he starts doing this. Oh, come on. No fake modesty.
Authentic guy.
Yeah. And he was just really, really nice to work with. The character, the lady, Sonequa Martin Green from
Star Trek and Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
She's just amazing. She's just so, they're like us.
Just normal people. Well, hopefully normal.
Yeah, no, they're like us, man. They're just, they love what they do, and they're not too proud to show excitement about it.
That's so great to hear.
It hasn't gone to their head; it's gone to their hearts.
Oh, that's amazing. And I recently spoke. I know you didn't have a scene with him, but I know that you've spoken with him. Ernie Hudson. I love him. Yes. One of my favorites. What was it like being just even? I know you spoke to him. What was it like just being in a show?
Well, we did a Zoom. We did I met him through this medium here. The same as it was a Zoom call and a Zoom script read.
Yep.
We read. So some people were there. Some people were in LA. Some people were. Bridget Monahan, I think, was in New York, maybe. I was in Vancouver, and I spoke with him briefly, and he's just. I don't have to. Hey, you're the ghost, but I've never heard that before. You don't need to say that, but it was just. It was like he's 80. I believe he's 80 years old.
Yeah, he's at least in his mid to late 70s.
Yeah, he looks good, man. I mean, he looks, I never would have 65, 60, just because I know he's been around that long.
Because he's done so many acting credits. Yeah, I'm the same.
Doing the Ghostbusters, and that was in the 80s, so you got, do the math kind of thing, but really, it was a really good, I just felt, I felt appreciated, and the director, his name is Anthony Hemingway. He's done tons of things. He, sometimes they're directors. We meet people at different points in their life. Like I may have met you 10 years ago when you were just starting, and now we'll have a different conversation. We'll come from different aspects, but, I've worked with young, new directors. I've been acting for this long. It's a team thing, but I find the directors that are, easiest to work with for me personally are the directors that they set out the tone. They're able to explain to me what they see and why they see me in this role rather than Michael.
Ah, that's nice, because that empowers you as well.
Yes, and they're like, okay, all I need basically is by the time you get to the end of the hallway, is that glass of water you've taken 2 sips from it. Do it wherever you want, but all I need is you to start start here. By the time you get to the end of the hallway, you've taken 2 sips of the water. I'm just breaking it down.
Yeah.
And it's up to me to paint the room the way that I want. And if there is no such thing as wrong, in my opinion, it's just, is it believable? Did I believe? Yeah, did I believe? Were my responses realistic?
Yeah.
I don't like to look at myself as an actor. That term actions, like panic.
Yeah, of course.
I'll give you a quick explanation. As an actor, you stand on a mark. Work is going on around you. Camera people, everybody's, people have their things to do. The crew sets up before you, right? And everything's all set up. And then, okay, Dean, we're ready to go to set. Then 5 minutes, boom. Actually, we're ready now. I get taken to set, I walk in, see faces you haven't seen before. Everybody's quiet. No one's like, hey, Dean, how you? People are like, they don't want to get in. Yeah. And it's like, hey, no, I'm a good guy. All that's like, what is that? Not one of those guys. Hey, what's your name? And then you stand on the mark. And then the director says, okay, all right, quit the noise. All the drills in other departments stop. It's really quiet. The sound man says, speed, meaning the tape is rolling. The director says, and the air conditioning, they shut it off. It goes, so it's like you're in a vacuum of.
Oh, that's intense. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the director says, ready, and action. And what? Oh, now. Oh, like,
yeah.
Yeah. You've got to be, I've learned to be moving before the director says action, so I can move you got the moment before. Yeah, it's a mind F, Michael. Yeah. But I love it. It's such a interesting thing to be doing because I don't need any apparatus. This is my instrument, and
that's epic.
Cool.
What we're going to do to wrap up the podcast, that's a great take, by the way. We're going to do a very quick rapid fire segment, and Boston Blue is out now. I'll just do a really quick one, but Boston Blue's out now. Everyone check it out. Okay, ready to do the rapid fire segment.
I have a question, Michael.
Yeah.
What the bloody hell is a rapid fire?
So I'll ask you a question, and whatever springs to mind you can say, but you can take your time to think about it. I'm not going to comment, but I'm just going to ask a bunch of quick questions.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Win prize money or something, or?
Say that again?
Do I win any money, or?
Yeah, you can go to your wallet, take out $100 and give it back to
yourself. Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's the type of prize that we offer.
I win a cell phone. Okay.
Yeah, you win a cell phone. You could take a laptop or, a nice hat. Okay. I'm not going to comment on these. What keeps you in a positive mindset when things aren't going great?
This is temporary. This is just, it's just my turn. Just my turn today. Get to it. Tomorrow's going to be somebody else. What would I call that? Momentum, or you know what I mean? I don't know what the word.
Yeah,
for that,
you answered it. Yeah,
this does not define you.
Next big dream. Say that again.
Yeah. Suck it up. Just fucking get through it. You know, it's like, so, okay, everybody has a bad day. It's your turn today.
Yep.
You know?
Next big dream or goal?
Next big dream or goal. To, well, I next big dream. To I don't know if it's a goal, but to really take forward what I've been blessed with, just even always, but most recently, to not make all of the things that I've been going through be for nothing. To use this in use my experiences to not take more, but to be able to give more.
Awesome. Yeah, great. I'm not going to comment on these. I love that. I know you're giving me that look. That was a great answer. What would you do if you knew you could not fail?
I would be desperately trying to learn what it feels like to fail.
Very unique.
After throw the $1 million in I just put it in the after I've had all, I'm full, like, what's it like to fail anyways? Like, what is that? Like, how does I'd say, so I could respect people that respect the other side of my life, my perspective.
What lights you up?
Many things, but just that thing, whatever it is, seeing that fire lit in somebody, seeing somebody just open up, somebody be liberated, somebody the smile of a child, just that joy, someone's true joy.
Brilliant.
It's witnessing it in somebody. Yeah.
We're similar. I love it. It's the best. Any advice you want to give to people who want to try something different on you and perhaps, don't know how to go about it?
Don't listen to anybody. If it's something that you really want to try and it's not a morally adverse thing, it's not illegal, it's not safe, your experience, research what it is that you want to do, but just understand your experience will be your experience and your experience alone. There is no blueprint to anything organic as in life experiences. When you jumped off, the first time you jumped into the water, I can't tell you that. Yeah, I know exactly how you felt. I thought I was going to die. You might have been like, "Oh, listen to me." It's you gotta your courage lies within the uncomfortable moment. So walk it. Just do it. Just do it. If it's not for you, you will fall off. You will not do it. If it's if it's really meant for you, you will find that will be your own. It will come to you as you're going to it, whatever it is. It will not leave you. You will find it. It will not. It'll. If it bothers the hell out of you, you got to do it. Just surrender to yourself.
Brilliant. You're speaking my language. Last question before I ask how people can follow you and keep up to date with you. What is the one question I should have asked you?
What was the one question that I feel you should have asked me?
Yeah.
Where have you been all my life? Oh, you so amazing. One question. You've asked some really good questions. I don't think there's not a question you couldn't ask me that I wouldn't answer now. But yeah, that's a good. You're good.
It takes two to tango. You're better.
Oh no, this is good. This is good. This is good. One question. Yeah, how are with the how am I don't know. That's it. You tricked. Yeah, that's not fair. You know, now you mean
No, it's the hardest question, and nothing springs to mind. It's fine. If something does, it's all good. If not,
oh,
yep.
am I hungry? No. All right.
Oh yeah, perfect time for you to eat. So I'll let you go. But before we go, how can people follow you, keep up to date with you? We know Boston Blues coming out. Anything else you wanna say?
Yes. First, there's after Boston Blue. There's a series that did I speak about the greatest?
No, tell me about it.
Well, the greatest is a MGM Amazon Prime series that I just finished filming, and it's about the life of a boxer. You may have heard of him before, Muhammad Ali.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I play a character. It's authorized by by his wife, so it's not just let's gather information and
It'll be great
to dialogue. And I play a boxer, real life boxer by the name of Archie Brown.
Yeah.
You know Archie Brown?
It's come up in like research over the years, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was until I had to research him, right? Because I was born just, my first memory of a boxing champ was Ali.
Yep.
I
know very little. I know very little, but yeah.
Well, I know a lot because I spent hours. Hours.
Yeah.
Mimicking the man. So I play Archie Moore, and it comes out. It should be coming out the end of next year, or we don't know actually when. But they're it's going to be a big deal because they are really taking their time with this, and it's called The Greatest. And there are a lot of big stars in it. I got to meet some really, really interesting people that I'm like, hey, I've been watching you for 20 years on TV. Wow, you're really nice, like kind of stuff. So
awesome.
I'll be doing The Greatest, and also you can find me on Instagram, just Dean Redman. The Dean Redman.
Yep.
And Facebook, Dean Redman. Also, what else? Twitter. Mostly I do the Instagram though.
Cool.
But and there was DeanRedman.com, which we're working on.
I'll put all of them in the episode notes below. Congratulations on the new role as well. Thank you so much. You're uplifting, empowering, and I love your mindset of, empowering others as well. Very rare and unique. And yeah, I really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for doing this chat with me.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's been a pleasure spending time with you.
I love how Dean encourages us to walk our own unique path. He explains that everyone is unique. There's no so-called blueprint to life, especially emulating or being someone else. Even if someone else has had exactly the same experience as you, the way we perceive and process it will always be different to someone else. He further explains that if you want to achieve something, although it may be daunting or uncomfortable, it is these experiences where we grow and ultimately thrive. I think it's awesome that Dean encourages us to follow our own unique path, and it's a beautiful reminder that we should never settle for someone else's path. So I'll leave you with this epic quote. There is no path to success. Everyone constructs their own path. Carol G.
Thank you for listening to the Funny and Failure podcast, exploring the deeper side of comedy.